How Richard Lee Entered the World of Crime. A full story. The journey of how Richard Lee, a name that has gained notoriety in the criminal world, spiraled into the depths of a life filled with crime, deceit, and danger, is both fascinating and tragic. His story isn't just about crime, it's about the circumstances, choices, and events that led him down this dark path. In this video, we will explore the full story of how Richard Lee fell into a life of crime, and what this tale can teach us about the consequences of one's decisions. The early years. Richard Lee was born into a modest family in the heart of a city that was struggling with poverty and crime. From the very beginning, his life was far from ideal. Raised by a single mother who worked multiple jobs just to make ends meet, Richard didn't have the luxury of a stable, nurturing home environment. The streets of the city became his second home, and the people around him were often not the best influences. Growing up in such an environment, Richard was exposed to crime at a young age. He saw people around him getting involved in illegal activities like drug dealing, petty theft, and gang violence. Though his mother tried to protect him, it was impossible to shield him from the realities of their neighborhood. The first encounter with crime. At the age of 14, Richard's life took a pivotal turn. While most teenagers were focused on school and friends, Richard found himself drawn to the wrong crowd. It all started with a small theft. Initially, it seemed like a harmless way to fit in. Stealing small items from local stores became a game, one that he played to gain approval from his peers. Soon, this game evolved. He moved from petty theft to more significant crimes, including burglary. Richard had developed a taste for the adrenaline rush that came with breaking the law. What was once an innocent attempt to belong to something greater became a habit he couldn't break. The lure of easy money. As Richard got older, he realized that crime could offer him something that his honest life could not: money. The temptation to make easy money pulled him further into a world he never fully understood. By his late teens, Richard was deeply involved in organized crime. He started working for local drug dealers, moving from a small-time thief to a full-fledged criminal. The allure of fast money and power in the criminal world began to cloud Richard's judgment. He started to feel invincible, as though there was no limit to what he could achieve. With the drugs, the money, and the dangerous friends came a false sense of security. Little did he know, this was just the beginning of a much darker journey. Escalating crime and law enforcement pursuit. By his early 20s, Richard was entangled in a network of criminal activities, from drug trafficking to money laundering. His reputation grew, and so did his criminal record. As the stakes got higher, the risk of getting caught became more pressing. However, Richard had managed to evade law enforcement for a while. He believed his success was proof that he could outsmart the system. But, like many others before him, he underestimated the persistence of law enforcement. The authorities were closing in, and eventually Richard was arrested. The charges were severe, ranging from drug trafficking to multiple counts of theft and assault. His world, which once seemed so secure and filled with power, began to crumble. The once confident, untouchable criminal was now facing years behind bars. The consequences and reflection. After serving time in prison, Richard had time to reflect on the choices he made. While incarcerated, he met many individuals who, like him, had been lured into a life of crime. Many of them, he realized, had similar stories: broken homes, lack of opportunities, and the temptation of easy money. He began to understand that the life he chose had consequences not only for him, but for everyone around him. Richard's journey through crime led him to lose friends, family, and his own freedom. The lifestyle that seemed so appealing in his youth had robbed him of the one thing he valued most: time. In prison, he had lost years of his life, years that he could never get back: redemption and the struggle to change. Though Richard's life was filled with criminal activity, his story doesn't end there. After years of reflection and rehabilitation, he decided to turn his life around. He became an advocate for youth in troubled neighborhoods, speaking about the dangers of crime and the harsh realities of prison life. While Richard's past would always remain a part of him, he was determined to not let it define his future. His transformation from a criminal to a speaker for change is a testament to the power of redemption. His story serves as a powerful reminder of how one's past doesn't have to dictate the future. The story of Richard Lee is a complex one. It's a story of a young man who made a series of poor decisions that ultimately led him into the W.